It seems as if in recent years there's been a huge resurgence of interest in space. And no, I'm not talking about it in the real world because apparently we couldn't give a crap about that, but in video games. And one of the more interesting of those space exploration games is coming up right around the corner by the name of No Man's Sky. Even though we are just a few short months away from the launch of this game, I still feel like there's a lot of confusion about exactly what it is, and that's what I hope to clear up here in this video with 5 things you need to know. So I like to start things off with the very basics, as in, what is it? No Man's Sky is a survival exploration game on a universal scale. And I don't mean like, hey, there's a couple of planets you can visit across various solar systems in a galaxy. No, it's literally an entire universe, procedurally generated, with each planet and their moons existing as seeds until they are discovered. Now, the game is being developed by Hello Games, who previous to this were known for their cartoony 2D side-scroller Joe Danger. And whether or not that game was interesting to you, it was a game that was actually critically acclaimed. Lots of people said very good things about it, so fingers are crossed that No Man's Sky also turns out to be a really good game, and all signs are pointing to yes. Next, we're gonna move on to what there is to do. This is the thing that I think people are kind of most confused by. Like, what do you do in No Man's Sky? Are you just walking around and flying in a spaceship? No, there's a lot to do. First of which is explore. Yes, that is a big part of this. You will be traversing the galaxy, trying to survive along the way. There'll be extreme weather, such as cold. As time goes on, you'll get colder and colder. You'll have to take shelter in someplace warmer to not actually just straight up lose health and die. All sorts of different environmental danger in your exploration as you discover things, which moves us on to the next thing, discovery. When you come across new planets or new animals, you'll actually have the option to be the one who discovers and names those things. So if there's a brand new species that no one else in the entire game has discovered so far, you get the privilege of giving it a name. In this process, you'll also be collecting. Every planet contains various resources that can be gathered, and such as elements and currency, which will later be used in crafting and upgrades. Now, crafting will be done by gathering those resources and then fashioning them into weapons and tools. So weapons that you can use to engage with other things that are in the environment, which brings us now to fighting. This has an FPS style gameplay with a multi-tool that can be used for gathering resources, for terraforming the land, or for fighting hostile species of animals or even space pirates. There's going to be ship combat as well, in which case you'll be flying through space, and if you see some enemy faction or hostile pirates that you want to engage, you can. You can also engage with not hostile things, but then that's gonna go into the GTA style wanted level in this game, where when you commit crimes, you get these sentries, these space police after you. So doing things like overmining of a planet, attacking neutral animals or neutral ships will cause these sentinels to come after you. As your wanted level gets higher, the more difficult this becomes. You'll get more and more of them, harder versions of them, until eventually you have an entire fleet chasing after you until you die, at which point you're gonna lose any unstored resources or any unuploaded discoveries that you've made, but you won't lose your base currency, which is gonna be used for things like upgrades for you. Now, you can also trade in this game. There are different alien species that you can learn from, as well as trade with, to do things like upgrading your suit or trading for ships, of which there are different classes: the fighter, trader, scientist, and explorer. And these ships can be upgraded as well with hyperdrives and defense and offensive weaponry, all sorts of things, lots of customization. And then the final thing that you'll be trying to do in this game is solve the mystery of the galaxy, which will lead us into the next thing you need to know, which is about the story. And there's not too much to know, unfortunately. They're keeping it purposefully ambiguous and mysterious. There is a narrative to the game, although the primary focus will be exploration. There is a through line as you make your way through the galaxy. One of the big mysteries and the focal point here is going to be the Atlas, this diamond-shaped prism that we see in all of the game's marketing. Well, this is supposed to be a central figure to the mystery of the game's story. Now, it's been said by Sean Murray that an ultimate goal is to reach the center of the universe. That is each player's primary objective, if you will. Next, I want to tell you about the size. It's big, like billion big, like 18 billion planets. Sean Murray has stated that 99.9% of these planets won't ever actually even be discovered. That's how big it is. And you might say that's ridiculous, but remember, all these planets are procedurally generated as you discover them. It's not like they handcrafted all this stuff. They set certain rules in place and so things aren't totally wacky, but It's just a big procedural universe. Now, each of the planets, as you discover them, they're going to be inhabited by different plant life, different animal life, depending on whatever elemental combination and how the procedural generation decided to throw all of that stuff together. Also, the terrain will be different. So you can have ice planets, desert, forest, water, etc. And the last thing I want to tell you that you should know about is the multiplayer. It's there, but it's going to be hard to come by. So the entire player base exists in the exact same universe, but the chance of actually coming across someone is incredibly small. There is no matchmaking, so you'll have to physically find people. Now the problem is, because the universe is so big, because there's 18 billion planets, how are you gonna find them? Now, when the game launches, players will begin on their very own previously undiscovered planet, at which point they'll be have the option to go around and make discoveries on that planet, find access to a ship, and then get off that planet. Now, because of the size of the universe, the sheer number of planets, and then the scale of those planets, which we haven't touched on yet, but it is massive. It is essentially world size. This isn't something where it'll take you 10 minutes to go around the complete circumference of a planet. No, it is monstrous. It will take you quite some time. So coordinating meeting with someone is going to be very difficult, though not impossible. And while you may not ever see other players when you play this game, you will see the impact that they leave through the discovery system as they find planets or name new species. And if you come across a planet that a person had previously been on, you will see those discoveries yourself, which is pretty interesting. So although I try to cover as much as I know about this game, as much as I could, I still feel like there's lots of things we didn't touch on here in this video. There is a high likelihood that I'm going to be covering No Man's Sky again in the future, so you guys can stay tuned here on the channel if you want to see more about the game. And if there's anything big that you think I missed, be sure to let us know in the comment section below. But those are 5 things that I think you need to know about No Man's Sky. Hopefully you guys found this video interesting. Once again, please be sure to leave your thoughts and opinions on this game in the comment section below. And until next time, I'll see you later.